The arrival. Captain Elena Rodriguez was enjoying her morning coffee when the alarm started screaming throughout Mars Orbital Station 7. The hot liquid splashed across her uniform as she jumped from her chair. Red warning lights flashed in every corridor, while automated voices announced the emergency in 3 languages. All personnel to battle stations. Unknown massive fleet detected. This is not a drill. Elena ran through the metal corridors, her boots echoing against the floor. Other crew members rushed past her, their faces showing the same mixture of confusion and fear she felt in her stomach. Mars Station 7 was humanity's farthest early warning post, designed to spot asteroids and monitor deep space traffic. They had never detected anything like this. The main control room buzzed with activity. Dozens of technicians worked frantically at their stations while massive screens showed radar readings that seemed impossible. Dr. Marcus Chen, the station's xenobiologist, stood frozen in front of the main display. "Report," Elena ordered, taking her position at the command center. "Captain," Dr. Chen said, his voice shaking, "we have multiple contacts approaching from the outer system. The computer counts over 300 vessels." Elena stared at the screen. The ships appeared as bright dots moving in perfect formation toward the inner solar system. Each dot represented a vessel larger than anything humanity had ever built. The smallest ships were the size of Manhattan. The largest ones defied easy comparison. "How long until they reach Earth?" she asked. "At current speed, approximately 18 hours, replied Lieutenant Sarah Park from the navigation station. "Captain, there's something else. The ships are using propulsion systems that don't match any known physics. They're traveling at speeds that should be impossible." Elena activated the emergency communication channel to Earth. "Mars Station 7 to Earth Defense Command. Priority Alpha Emergency. We have incoming alien fleet. Repeat, we have first contact situation." The response came immediately. Admiral Thompson's weathered face appeared on the main screen from Earth Defense Command headquarters in Colorado. Behind him, Elena could see other officers running between stations. "Captain Rodriguez, confirm your report." "Did you say alien fleet?" "Confirmed, Admiral. 300-plus vessels of unknown origin approaching Earth. Estimated arrival in 18 hours. Admiral Thompson was quiet for a moment. Elena could see him processing information that would change human history forever. "Captain, I'm ordering you to maintain observation and report any changes. We're implementing first contact protocol immediately." For the next 6 hours, Elena watched the alien fleet grow larger on their screens. Dr. Chen worked with his team to analyze the ship's design and technology. What they discovered was troubling. "These vessels show signs of advanced military technology," Dr. Chen reported during their hourly briefing. "Energy signatures suggest weapon systems far beyond our capabilities. The fleet formation indicates an invasion force, not explorers or traders." Elena nodded grimly. Humanity had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they had their answer, and it wasn't the peaceful first contact everyone had hoped for. The aliens made their intentions clear when they reached Earth's outer atmosphere. The massive fleet arranged itself in attack formation around the planet. Ships took positions over every major city and military installation. Smaller vessels deployed toward the Moon and Mars, including one heading directly for Elena's station. "Incoming transmission," announced Lieutenant Park. "It's broadcasting on all frequencies simultaneously." The main screen flickered and changed. Elena found herself looking at something that was definitely not human. The alien had pale blue skin stretched over sharp facial bones. Its eyes were completely black, and when it spoke, the words came out in perfect English, but with a voice that sounded like grinding metal. "Primitive inhabitants of the third planet, I am Overlord Vexthen of the Galactic Empire's 4th Conquest Fleet. Your world has been selected for integration into our empire." Elena felt cold fear spread through her body. The alien continued speaking without emotion. "Your species will serve the Empire as laborers and resource providers. Your planet contains materials we require. Resistance will result in complete extermination of your population." Admiral Thompson's voice came through the communication system from Earth. "This is Admiral Thompson of Earth Defense Command. We represent the people of Earth. We're willing to discuss peaceful coexistence, but we don't accept ultimatums." The alien's expression didn't change. "You misunderstand your situation. This is not negotiation. You have 72 of your planetary rotations to surrender unconditionally. Failure to comply will result in the cleansing of all life from your world." "And if we refuse?" Admiral Thompson asked. "Then you join the 437 species that chose unwisely." Alina's blood ran cold. 437 other worlds had faced this same ultimatum. None had successfully resisted. "You require demonstration of our capabilities," Overlord Vex then stated. It was not a question. The alien turned away from the camera and spoke in a harsh language that hurt Alina's ears to hear. Through the station's powerful telescopes, she watched one of the smaller alien ships position itself near a large asteroid between Mars and Jupiter. "All stations, focus on coordinates 77 Alpha," Alina ordered. The asteroid was roughly 5 miles across, composed of iron and rock. It had been there for millions of years, spinning slowly through space. Alina watched as a thin beam of purple light extended from the alien ship and touched the asteroid's surface. The asteroid simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there, a mountain of solid rock and metal. The next moment there was nothing but empty space and a few tiny particles of dust drifting away. The alien weapon had completely disintegrated 5 miles of solid matter in less than 3 seconds. The control room fell silent. Alina heard someone whisper a prayer. Another person was crying quietly. The demonstration had used what appeared to be a small weapon on a small ship. The aliens had hundreds of much larger vessels. Overlord Vexthen's face reappeared on screen. This demonstration utilized approximately 0.2% of one weapon's minimum power setting. Each of our primary vessels carries weapons capable of destroying your entire planet. Choose wisely. The transmission ended, leaving Alina and her crew staring at blank screens. "Get me a direct line to every world leader," Admiral Thompson ordered from Earth. "Emergency session of the Global Defense Council in 2 hours." Alina looked out through the station's observation windows at Earth hanging in space like a blue jewel. From this distance, it looked peaceful and beautiful. But now she knew that in 72 hours, it might be nothing but cosmic dust. Dr. Chen approached her station. "Captain, I've been analyzing their transmission. There's something unusual about how they communicate with us." "What do you mean?" "They speak to us like we're just another animal species, like they expect us to submit immediately. But, Captain, they seem to know very little about human psychology or behavior." Alina frowned. "Are you saying they underestimate us?" "I'm saying they don't understand us at all," Dr. Chen replied. "They've conquered 437 species using the same approach. Every other species must have reacted the same way, either immediate surrender or conventional military resistance that failed quickly." Alina felt a small spark of hope. "But humans are different. Humans are very different," Dr. Chen confirmed. "We're unpredictable, creative, and we don't follow normal patterns when we're desperate. They have no idea what they're dealing with." Over the next 24 hours, Alina watched as Earth transformed. Every country put aside their differences and worked together for the first time in human history. The emergency session of world leaders lasted 14 hours straight. Military bases that had been destroyed were rapidly rebuilt underground. Civilian populations evacuated to hidden shelters that had been constructed in secret over decades. But most importantly, Alina observed something the aliens clearly hadn't expected. Humanity didn't panic. They didn't surrender. Instead, they got angry. Dr. Chen spent the second day analyzing every piece of data they had collected about the alien fleet. What he discovered gave Alina hope. "Captain, I think I understand their strategy. They rely on overwhelming technological superiority and fear. Every species they conquered has either surrendered immediately or fought conventional battles and lost quickly. They've never faced prolonged resistance. What are you suggesting? Elena asked. I'm suggesting that we send them a message. Not a surrender, not a plea for mercy. A warning. Elena raised an eyebrow. A warning. They have enough firepower to destroy our entire planet. Yes, but they don't understand human history. They don't know what happens when you threaten humanity's survival. Dr. Chen showed Elena his analysis on the main screen. Every species they've conquered has been peaceful or had limited military experience. Humans have been fighting wars for thousands of years. We've faced extinction before and survived. We've fought against impossible odds and won. Elena began to understand. You want to tell them they're making a mistake. I want to tell them exactly what they're getting into. Elena contacted Admiral Thompson on Earth. After explaining Dr. Chen's analysis, she received permission to transmit humanity's response. Elena stood in front of the communication array, knowing that her words would be heard across the galaxy. Dr. Chen had helped her craft a message that was simple, direct, and absolutely terrifying in its implications. Overlord Vexthen of the Galactic Empire. Elena began, her voice steady and calm. This is Captain Elena Rodriguez speaking for humanity. We have received your ultimatum. We have seen your demonstration of power. We understand that you have conquered 437 other species. She paused, looking directly into the camera. We also understand that you have never faced humans before. We are not like the others. We do not surrender. We do not break. When you threaten our world, our families, our children, we become something else entirely. Elena's voice grew colder. For thousands of years, we have fought wars against our own species. We have created weapons designed to kill other humans. We have survived ice ages, plagues, natural disasters, and countless conflicts. We have looked extinction in the face before and refused to accept it. She leaned forward. You believe your technology makes you superior. You believe fear will make us submit. You are wrong. If you attack Earth, you will not be conquering a planet. You will be starting a war with a species that has never known peace, a species that considers impossible odds to be motivation rather than deterrent. Elena's final words were delivered with absolute conviction. We are sending you this single warning. Leave our system now. Do not test humanity's resolve. Do not discover what we become when we have nothing left to lose. Some battles are not worth winning. Some enemies are not worth making. We are one of them. The transmission ended. Elena had delivered humanity's response to the Galactic Empire. One morning. One chance for them to reconsider. Now they would discover if the aliens were smart enough to listen. The consequence. Overlord Vexthen stood in the command center of his flagship, staring at the communication screen with confusion. In 4 centuries of conquest, no species had ever responded to his ultimatum with a warning of their own. Most surrendered immediately. Others begged for mercy or tried to negotiate. A few fought desperately and were quickly destroyed. But humans had done something unprecedented. They had threatened him. Analysis. Vex then ordered his tactical officer. Commander Zethkri activated his holographic display. The human response shows no indication of surrender or fear. Their military installations have been rebuilt underground within hours. Their population has dispersed to locations our sensors cannot detect. Most unusual, their military coordination has improved dramatically since our arrival. Vex then studied the tactical display showing Earth. Instead of the panic and chaos he expected, human activity had become more organized and efficient. Explain their reaction pattern. Overlord, it does not match any of our previous conquests. When threatened with extinction, most species either collapse in terror or throw themselves into hopeless attacks. Humans appear to be preparing. Preparing for what? They cannot defeat our fleet. Commander Zethkri hesitated. Perhaps they do not intend to defeat us, Overlord. Perhaps they intend something else. Vex then dismissed the suggestion. No species could threaten the Galactic Empire. But something about the human warning bothered him. There had been absolute conviction in the female's voice. No fear, no desperation. Only cold certainty. Initiate deep scan of their data networks, Vex then ordered. I want to understand what makes these humans different. What the Galactic Empire discovered over the next 24 hours changed everything they thought they knew about Earth. Ambassador Zethkri, the Empire's specialist in conquered species, presented his findings to the command staff. His usual confidence had been replaced by something that looked disturbingly like concern. Overlord, the human species is unique among those we have encountered. Explain. Zethkri activated a holographic display showing human history. Most species we conquer have experienced limited conflict in their development, perhaps territorial disputes or resource competition. Humans have been in a constant state of warfare for their entire recorded history. The display showed battles, weapons, and military strategies spanning thousands of years. Vex then watched with growing unease as the presentation continued. They have fought wars that lasted decades. They have created weapons designed specifically to kill their own species in massive numbers. Most importantly, they have a psychological trait that appears to be unique in the galaxy, which is, when faced with impossible odds, instead of surrendering, they become more dangerous. Their history shows numerous instances where small groups of humans defeated much larger forces through unconventional tactics. Vex then studied the data. Human warfare was unlike anything in the Empire's experience. Where other species fought for territory or resources, humans seemed to fight for abstract concepts like freedom and dignity. Where other species surrendered when defeat was certain, humans often fought until the last individual was dead. Their warning was not empty posturing, Zethkri continued. Based on their historical patterns, they genuinely believe they can resist us. More troubling, their previous conflicts suggest they may be correct. Impossible. Our technology is superior. Yes, Overlord, but technology alone has not guaranteed victory in human conflicts. They have a saying. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. I believe this explains their psychology. Vex then was beginning to understand why the human response had troubled him. Show me their military capabilities. What Zethkri revealed next was even more disturbing. Humans had created weapons that served no purpose except destroying other humans. Nuclear bombs, chemical weapons, biological warfare. But most concerning were the tactics they employed. They do not fight as other species fight, Zethkri explained. They use deception, misdirection, and psychological warfare. They attack supply lines rather than armies. They hide among civilian populations. They make conquests so expensive that victory becomes meaningless. The holographic display showed human guerrilla tactics, resistance movements, and insurgency strategies. Vex then realized that conquering Earth would not end with defeating their military. It would begin a centuries-long struggle against a population that refused to be conquered. Overlord, Zethkri said quietly, I believe we should reconsider this conquest. The Empire does not retreat, Vex then replied automatically. But even as he said it, he was beginning to doubt the wisdom of attacking Earth. Colonel Sarah Mitchell crouched in the abandoned subway tunnel beneath New York City, monitoring alien communications with equipment she never should have been able to understand. But humans had a gift for adapting enemy technology quickly, and Sarah's team had been working around the clock since the aliens arrived. They're confused, she reported to General Harrison Blake at the Underground Command Center. Their communications show uncertainty about how to proceed. Explain. They're not used to species that don't surrender. Every conversation we intercept shows them trying to understand why we haven't given up. It's like they've never encountered real resistance before. General Blake nodded. Dr. Chen's analysis was correct. They don't know how to handle determined opposition. What neither the humans nor the aliens realized was that their confrontation was being watched by other species throughout the galaxy. Word of humanity's defiant response had spread quickly through the galactic communication networks. On a distant world, the representative of a species that had been conquered by the Empire 200 years ago received the human transmission. For the first time in centuries, they began to hope. If humans could resist the Empire, perhaps freedom was possible. Similar reactions occurred on dozens of other worlds. The Empire's reputation had been built on inevitable conquest. But humans had done something that challenged that reputation. They had issued a warning to their conquerors. Back on his flagship, Overlord Vexthen faced a decision that would affect the future of galactic civilization. His tactical analysis showed that conquering Earth was possible, but would require resources equivalent to subjugating 50 normal worlds. The human population would never fully submit. Resistance would continue for generations. More troubling were the intercepted communications from other Empire territories. Word of human defiance was spreading. Some conquered species were beginning to question their own subjugation. Overlord, Commander Zethkri reported, "We have received inquiries from 17 sector commanders. They report unusual activity among subjugated populations. Some are asking if humans successfully resisted us." Vex then understood the implications immediately. The Empire's control depended on the belief that resistance was futile. If humans proved that resistance was possible, it could trigger rebellions across the galaxy. "Sir," Zethkri continued, "I recommend we withdraw from this system." Withdraw. The Empire has never retreated. The Empire has never encountered a species like humans. Look at their response pattern. Overlord, they are not afraid of us. They are preparing to make conquests so costly that we will regret ever finding their world. Vex then studied the tactical displays one more time. Human military installations had multiplied underground. Their population had dispersed to thousands of hidden locations. Most concerning, their global unity had strengthened rather than weakened under threat. He thought about the human female's warning. She had not pleaded or threatened. She had simply stated facts about what would happen if he attacked her world. The certainty in her voice suggested she knew something he did not. "What do we know about human psychology when threatened?" Vex then asked. "They become unpredictable and creative. Their history shows they often discover new tactics and technologies during conflicts. Most importantly, they seem to view survival as more important than any other consideration." Vex then made a decision that would change galactic history. "Signal the fleet. We are withdrawing from this system." Overlord. The humans issued one warning. We should have listened. As the massive alien fleet began to move away from Earth, Captain Elena Rodriguez watched from Mars Station 7. She could hardly believe what she was seeing. "Captain," Dr. Chen said with amazement, "they're actually leaving." Elena activated the communication system to Earth. "Admiral Thompson, the alien fleet is withdrawing from the system. Repeat, the aliens are leaving." The response from Earth was immediate. Cheering voices filled the communication channel as news of the Empire's withdrawal spread across the planet. But Elena understood that this was more than just a victory for Earth. Humanity had done something that would resonate throughout the galaxy. They had proven that the Galactic Empire could be resisted. In the weeks that followed, reports reached Earth of rebellions, starting on Empire worlds throughout the galaxy. Species that had been subjugated for centuries began to fight back, inspired by humanity's example. The single warning Elena had transmitted had become something larger than anyone had expected. It had become proof that no empire, no matter how powerful, was invincible when faced with beings who refused to surrender. Humanity had saved not just their own world, but had given hope to countless others across the galaxy. The Galactic Empire still existed, but its aura of invincibility was broken forever. And somewhere in the depths of space, other species began to whisper a new phrase. "Remember the humans. Remember what happens when you threaten those who refuse to break." The warning had been heard across the galaxy, and the galaxy would never be the same.